Wow. One of the greatest men alive, Dr. Miles Monroe, once said to me, "Do not waste a good recession." Of course, we went on to talk about how powerful tough times can unleash giants and really train us and unleash the best out of us, because things hardly grow in the comfort zone. Welcome to Unlimited Life with Treasure. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day. Whether things look great or they don't, but it is a great day. Life goes on. These words that I just spoke about, talking about not wasting a good recession and things not growing from the comfort zone, I just want to use them today to encourage us, because a lot of us are going through a lot. I want us to take a moment to pause and reflect and see what we can learn out of these situations. I know that it's tough, especially when coming to the death side of things, but also sometimes we don't take much from these because we focus so much on funerals than we focus on the mourning and the power that we can really get to be unleashed back to ourselves if we truly mourn and grieve, right? I've been listening to my pastor also talking about the power of mourning, that if you really mourn right, you will go back to yourself, and there's a whole lot that you will discover about yourself that you will take from that lesson, and get rid of the pain. And even though you have lost, you still walk into life with hope. The power of this thing is hope. And talking about hope, I was catching up with a friend of mine. We used to be in an MBA class together, and who gave me a random call and said, "You've been flashing in my mind, and I've been checking some of these things that you talk about, and I felt like I should call you." As we were catching up, he tells me how he was for about 2.5 months to 3 months sick. And it was so tough, and this is now around November, December, and Jan, and how he didn't even see this good Christmas, and his family was caring for him. I mean, his wife also got COVID, but not that bad. His daughter also got it, but was running around, and not as bad as he was. And he was advised to just get oxygen and recover from home. At some point, he couldn't move. I'm talking about a strong, powerful man, and very much of faith. And maybe that's where we really connect a lot. We were in that MBA class together. We were studying together. He was so full of faith. We shared the word together. We encouraged a lot. We encouraged each other through the course, a very tough course. And yes, we came out and passed that cum laude. And it's because of such people. So listening to him, sharing how he was helpless. But what I want to focus on is some of the things that he said, because, I'm talking about how we used to encourage each other. He has, if you think I've got a strong mindset, then he has like a powerhouse of a mindset and faith, So he said he started declaring powerful things. And this is where the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind comes to play, because it is very critical that we intentionally build our subconscious mind, so that when tough times come, whatever comes out of us when we're not even thinking is powerful things. I think I will dedicate one of the recordings to just keeping on talking about the power of the mind, especially this building that subconscious mind, because he mentions that just before that time, he has a business in retail, and he had to think what to do. COVID, shops are closing. What else? And, we shared about the power of the scripture that he talked to me about the fact that when there was famine in Egypt, the Lord still said, I will treat Goshen different, even though they are in Egypt, because they are my people. I think this is one of the scriptures that I've also really been reading so much. That yes, there was Egypt, and if you just read a lot of the later scriptures of Genesis and Exodus, you get to really see the conversations between Moses and God. I mean, that fascinates me. I love reading the Bible, and I get fascinated by some of these things. I get challenged a lot about, Moses would go to God and pray and say, forgive Pharaoh, let this thing stop. It stops. The next day it has stopped, not years. And then again, if Pharaoh refuses, back the next day, no, there's famine or there's frogs, there's this. For me, that fascinates me, that God can really do things that fast. But it's not the focus for today. In those conversations, there was then that conversation where God said, I will bring this into Egypt. They will all suffer. But no, there is an area within Egypt called Goshen, and I will not touch that. Those people will continue to prosper and live well and have my provision. And oh my God. And this is then what kept him when he got sick, just before he got sick, and he started a few businesses, and then boom, he was down. And because he had been preaching that to himself, I'm using the word preach, it's not really pastor, but saying this, it was so in the mind of the family and also in his mind. There was that thing that they daily declared that no, the Lord is going to preserve us through this. We're going to get through this. We're going to outlast this season, as I'd normally say. When he was there struggling, because he took me through how difficult it was, to a point where he's at some point when he was better, because at some point he was not even speaking. He said, when I got better, I found myself calling my bank to talk about my will and how my estate should be, because I realized that I didn't have an up-to-date will. I have spoke about the importance of this at some point. We'll talk about the importance of updating your will at all times at another time. But that's how deep he was. That's how sick he felt. Right now, he is up and able to tell the story, but what kept him up was the words that played in his mind when he wasn't even thinking straight. That no, you can go through this. Yes, you are going through this, but you will just get refreshed. You are going out. I promised you to, get you out of this season alive. That even though you may go through a lot, you may go through the fire, but it will not burn you. Those are the words that played. But that's because those words were instilled prior to the season that came. I want to encourage us today that these tough times are here to shape us, to unleash the best out of us, and let us embrace that. But even more so, because we are already here, it doesn't mean that these are the last tough times we experience. Yes, there's COVID, and it's super big, maybe, in our eyes. But we will always have challenges. It is written that in this world we will go through a lot, but we must be strong and of courage and take courage, because we will overcome. But what helps us to overcome is the word that we build inside of us, is the faith, is the courage, is the hope that we have. What took him through was the words and faith and courage that he gave himself prior to the season. So let us use this season to build us. Let us just, even if you think it's small, let us build strength within us. Let's walk around encouraging people. Tell someone how good they are, how powerful they are, how great they are. Let's leave the negativity and telling people how bad they are. I think they already know most of it. It's tough. Let's encourage each other. Let's make sure that whatever is built in us and built in other people is the greatness. I will say you are powerful, you are great, you are unique, you have this power to be whatever you can, whatever that you want to be. Let us build the strong mindset in us. Let's use these tough times to build strong mindset, strong courage within us, so that whatever we encounter in life, we do not give up. I know that many of us also are losing loved ones. Let us mourn them, let us grieve, but let us use this time to also build a strong character. Let us support each other. Let us just make sure that we don't come out of this season, with the very same mindset we had prior to the season. In the workplace, if you are used to monitoring people and just following people around, use this time to learn how are we going to live post-COVID? What are we learning? What is this flexible working arrangement teaching us? Are we going to go back to wanting people be in the office so that we can see them, to believe that they are working? Let us use it in many aspects. This is possibly the longer episode of the ones I've done. But I'm glad that you listened to this point. Let us use these tough times to learn something, to allow ourselves to learn, to grieve, to mourn, to learn and be powerful than ever before. We cannot go through such a season and come out the same. No. Above all, let's build strong mindset, powerful mindsets of love, loving ourselves so much, loving others so much, building powerful words. Thank you for listening to Unlimited Live with Treasure. And thank you for liking, for hitting that subscribe. If you haven't, do share, do like, do comment. Let's encourage each other. You are treasured. You are powerful. You are unlimited. We love you. See you at the top, right where you belong.